Shots fired, Fruitvale. When you trying to get home?
What is going on?
Next stop, Fruitvale Station.
I'm so glad that you had something to do the day this screening went on, Leon.
Oh, really?
I never would have heard the end of your hatred for cops after watching this movie. Do not go see this movie.
Leon would have ran out of the theater like looking for a cop to shoot.
We would have had to get him out of jail.
Yeah.
If he didn't get shot himself first.
I know, right? He's just like,
yeah.
I gotta go see it now.
No,
you don't.
This is the only great movie that I would say do not go see this.
Besides, you're probably already pissed about the real story you probably heard about that this is based on anyway.
Yeah. Do you know the story behind this?
No, I don't.
Okay, so this is based on the story of Oscar Grant. And I remember this story because you can still watch the YouTube videos. I mean, it was a big thing at the time. Yeah. And the story behind him is that it was early New Year's Eve, 2009. And when I say early, it's sometime like 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And he's at Fruitvale Station, which is what the movie's named after. And these Bay Area rapid transit cops come in trying to break up a fight that he was involved in. So they separate all these guys and they take Oscar and put him on the ground because I guess he's starting to talk back, act in their opinion unruly. And while they have him on the ground, while he's unarmed and they're cuffing him, there's one cop standing over him and he shoots him. Now,
what?
Yeah. And now
he pulls out a gun and he shoots him in the back. And if I'm
with
right,
other cops standing around watching.
Yeah.
And I think that this cop spent. This is the part I'm going to have wrong. I don't remember too much about this, but I know the cop spent about 11 months in jail, and then before he was paroled. And the argument is that he says his gun went off because he was reaching for his taser while Oscar Grant was kind of grabbing at him, and when he aimed at him, he was going to tase him. And shot him with an actual gun.
Right. I was reaching for my taser, but I grabbed my gun by mistake.
Now, if you look at anybody can go to YouTube. It's hard to tell if he's reaching for him. I can't see it. I'm not saying this because this is a black thing, anything like that.
It happens so quick. I mean,
yeah,
it's taken from one cell phone that's pretty far. Yet,
well, actually, there's a bunch of cell phone footage, but right. I don't know.
But the footage they showed us, at least. I mean, but the thing is, the footage, at least that we got to see in the movie, you could plainly see the guy was clearly like hovering over him, pulled out his gun just before just right when he pulled it, you heard a bam. So I mean, but when you watch the video, you can tell like it seems like nothing but excessive force that they're using on a guy who's already detained, who's already on the ground. Where you got people putting his knees. You had like at least several cops around him. Yet at least what I saw, there was a cop that had his knee down on his back. So the fact that they were going to tase him while he was still on the ground, that's still fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, I've had a taser in my hand, and I've had a handgun in my hand, and they don't feel a lot the same. I can't imagine, I don't care what the fuck's going on, that this guy was like really went, I could have sworn that was my taser.
Man, cops do this shit all the time, and all they got to do is come up with not even a convincing lie, just some story they can tell, and they're like, hey, man, well, the job's hard and you don't know what this guy has to go through and give him a break and, acquitted. And matter of fact, he's cop of the year. Give him an award.
Well, that's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
I can't believe this guy spent 11 months.
Yeah, no, and they did try to get him, I think, on first-degree murder. But anyway, about this movie, it's when you watch it's again, you have to watch it and realize that this is a film. Now, I'm looking at this and saying that this cop didn't serve enough time. This was unjustified. It's very suspicious, the story that went behind this. But when you're watching a movie, I mean, it is a movie. And as a movie, if you take it just as a movie and not try to, be mad about what happened in real life, it's pretty great.
Yeah, it is. It seems like it's one of those movies where, it's a day in the life type of story. They're actually right when the movie starts, they show you the footage of what happens, and then it cuts from that into the guy's story, where he's being played by the kid from Chronicle,
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, and you're basically seeing just a typical day in his life before the event actually happens. So you do feel like a fly on the wall watching these events. But I mean, it's really well acted. That's the one thing I can say about this movie is that the performances really do stand out above anything else, even the story, because while watching this, I couldn't help but feel sort of manipulated and just, watching the story, you can tell, like, okay, I don't know if this is like, I don't know where they got this information about what this guy was doing the days before leading up to this, or who he actually ran into. But you can't help but notice at the end of the movie where it feels a little bit like, this was thoroughly plotted, to all these things coincidentally happening at the end that leads up to this horrific event.
It feels emotionally biased.
Yeah,
that's
really
why I
does,
say you have to take it as a movie. I really can't use it as a reflection of what happened in real life because, and they try to be fair with it because Michael B. Jordan, who's playing Oscar Grant, this guy is great because he has to go through. I keep saying great. Can I use another word?
It was pretty amazing.
No, incredible.
Amazing, fantastic. Yeah,
stupendous.
His acting was very impressive, and it had a diverse range of emotions because they try to be fair and show him as a hothead because this guy he's a convicted criminal, and so they don't want you to believe like, oh, he's just going throughout his day and he's just being a good guy. No, there's parts where when he's talking to somebody, he's being nice one moment, and then he's talking to somebody else, and when they're not giving him the answer that he wants, he's like, listen, I'm talking to you, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh shit. Wait a minute, Oscar, wait a minute.
Volatile moments in this where I was like, okay, it's interesting that they're pointing this out. But the bigger aspect of the plot is him dealing with his kid and his whole family situation about how he's really trying to make things right again because his family sees him in a light that isn't positive at all. His mother, you realize she's had to suffer putting up with his antics, while he's out there, dealing drugs, getting into trouble, being convicted, there's great moments with his mother, who's played by the woman who put her shit in a pie.
Octavia Spencer.
Yeah, Octavia Spencer. Yeah, there's some great moments where, you see them just dealing with what's going on, and those moments really shine, especially with him and the daughter. I can't remember the actress, the little actress.
Man, that little girl was great.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. See, look, we can't stop it, man. It's contagious. No,
just go with
in real life, he had a daughter named Tatiana, and I don't know how old she was, maybe about 6 or 7. And the actress who played her is Ariana Neal. And those moments between, these actors in the movie where they're sharing all these moments and you get to see Oscar be a father. That's the one thing that you look at in this film, and I'm going to use the word character here because this, again, there's no other way to take it. But when you see this character interacting with his daughter, you realize that this is the guy who's trying to improve because this is what he wants. He wants to be a better father. He wants to be a better, he's not married, but he wants to be a better provider. He wants to be a better boyfriend, eventually a husband. And it is one of those stories where you see somebody who has, if this was in a movie of any lesser quality, it would almost be cliche.
Yeah.
It really would be,
the day where I decide I'm going to make my life right. Oh, everything's going to be good. And then all of a sudden, bam.
Or the day when he's contemplating about, like, popping the big question probably where you're like, oh no, don't, why are you kind of
rookie, I'm going to retire at the end of the week.
Exactly.
I'm going to retire from, he does kind of do that. I'm going to retire from the weed game.
Look, I'm trying to get out the game.
This ring I just bought for my lady, I'm going to ask her.
And there's a part of you,
we're going to do this one last score and then I'm out.
Yeah, there's a part of you that gets so invested in his character and just, everything that's kind of being put before you that when the movie tends to steer in that route, it is screaming, you've seen this before, this is all cliche, and that is my biggest problem, because I was like, I don't think you really needed any of that. You didn't need to, build this guy's up, build his life up to the point where, man, he's going to be on a winning streak after this. This guy has changed his way.
Yeah.
He's a changed man at this moment.
See, that's the thing I'm
only
saying,
to lead
man.
up to this horrible moment.
It gets to a point where, okay, we saw the bad Oscar early on in the movie, and through the rest of the movie, it's like, hey, how you doing, buddy? Hey, man, how's it going? Hey, he's doing things like there's a girl trying to buy fish, and he's saying, oh, wait a minute, hold on, let me call my grandmother. She'll tell you what fish to buy. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, sir, how you doing? Oh, your pregnant wife wants to use the bathroom. Let me get that door for you. They're really trying to say how good this guy is.
He becomes a superhero.
So you can finally, at the end of the movie, be like, oh, man, he was such a good person.
And you talk about not so subtle foreshadowing. but yeah, I mean, and that's the thing because it's.
Is he wearing a red shirt?
I know. Yeah, he might. I think he would.
He went to a costume shop, put on a red shirt with a Star Trek symbol on it. Hey, how you think this looks? I'm gonna come back and get this. All right.
But that's where I was really getting torn apart because I was like, wow, such great performance. Yet the whole time I'm thinking, wow, if this guy, because I've heard rumors already. I've heard from you, Corey, this guy is up for an Oscar. Yet
it's too early to say, but
why would you tell him that?
Yeah.
Because people are
buzzing about it.
I've read 1 or 2 articles where they said that this is one of the great performances of 2013
so far.
Michael B.
So
Jordan,
far.
but see, that's what I'm saying. It's summertime.
Yeah.
So people are quick to throw down that Oscar thing.
All the buzz before October means nothing.
Yeah, very true.
But I mean, it doesn't, you can't really say that, that doesn't, when you're watching him perform, it doesn't like really cross your mind. Like that doesn't seem so ridiculous after you see his performance.
Sure.
Especially when you see something like Chronicle or watching him in Chronicle, I thought he was okay, but I was like, wow, this guy does have a lot of range when you're watching a movie like this.
Yeah.
Especially with him, dealing with these, having the opportunity to act with great actors.
And see, that's the thing, man. It is very cliche, but they managed to make you feel sympathy for this character because mainly Michael B. Jordan's performance. And
every film festival has its own personality, sort of, and this premiered at Sundance.
Yeah.
And it premiered right around the Trayvon Martin stuff. Am I getting the name right?
Yeah.
And the Sundance personality sort of, they love those arty but emotionally manipulative films anyway there. So it's no big surprise that pretty much everyone came out of that festival going, best movie at Sundance, and from what you guys are saying, it sounds like it's one of those films that I'm going to come out of going, it makes you want to look more into this case and see what happened and recognize the injustice, but be a little irritated by the sheer degree to which you're manipulated.
You hit it. Don't, because the movie does have problems. You have to really take it as a film, and it's hard because some people are not going to want to criticize it because it's very sensitive. But I'm telling you, man, it's a movie, and that's how you have to look at it. The movie gets by mainly on the performances.
I'm not coming here for these visits anymore. This is my last time.
I know this is the last time for me too. I told you that I ain't going down no more.
You want to keep putting Sophina through this, and you go right ahead, okay? But Tatiana, that baby doesn't deserve this, Oscar.
Young knows what's going on.
So I guess that's why she asked me why you love taking your vacations more than you like being with her.
Ma, you gotta tell her I love her. Tell her I ain't never gonna
tell her
leave
yourself. The next time you call home, you tell her yourself. Or better yet, let her come visit you here.
Yeah, but I don't. She don't need to be exposed.
You already exposed it. You already exposed her to this.
So you gonna leave me? You gonna leave me again? What kind of mom is you?
Octavia Spencer. I'm so happy that she's won an Oscar and she's getting roles like this. I mean, this is a woman who could have easily fallen into the trap of, big black woman, you're going to be typecast as that from now on. This was probably one of her most serious roles.
Even though she still is playing a black woman. And
she really needs to rub that makeup off, man.
He's actually playing
no range.
He's actually playing Abigail Breslin in her next movie.
I thought she was going to play Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, Big Mama's House.
The Martin Lawrence story.
Yeah, and the guy that plays Oscar Grant's girlfriend in the movie, Melanie Diaz, she's really good too.
Oh, she's great.
And the thing that makes the movie again so tragic is that this is a woman this is a guy who's a thug, and you get the feeling that he's been checked straight not because of his daughter, but because this woman's sitting up behind him just saying, you get your trifling ass straight or don't come back. I don't give a fuck. You got a choice to make. And he does. And it's one of the films where you're right. It won the grand jury prize at Sundance. So a lot of people are going to come out of this, but it's also a film where it has a very young director. And this
and I was
going to say, it's his first feature film, and he's only 27 years old. So you have to look at it and think, man, there's not, and it's not just what he does with actors in the movie. I mean, they're just small touches that they do that they don't they don't go overboard with. There's scenes like when Oscar makes a text to somebody, you see the text pop up on the screen as he's texting. It's little just cinematic touches like that shows that this is a guy. It is a young director who has a lot of creative approaches to directing, but not being too flashy. And what's the director's name?
Yeah,
man? It's
Orson Welles made Citizen Kane when he was 16.
Stop it! Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler. Yeah. Ryan Coogler. Look out for this guy, man, because
isn't he the one who's doing the Creed movie with Michael B. Jordan?
Creed
that we talked about, where it's a spin-off about Apollo Creed's grandson as a boxer.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the band Creed. I was like,
like nobody wants to see that.
Michael B. Jordan, he does look like a really young Carl Weathers.
I can see it.
Yeah, I looked when I was watching him in the movie because at first I was like, man, why are they doing this? And I said, oh, well, because they got a guy that looks like a young Apollo Creed. You can't let that go to waste.
Right.
I listen. I don't know how this is going to do at the Oscars. I mean, it could get ignored. It could get forgotten because it is summertime. I think that because it's got so much weight of being, this guy's getting a little notoriety behind it. It came out during the Trayvon Martin case.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
It's a lot of people are still. I mean, recently they did a big. I won't say. Well, they did a very peaceful protest, sort of an anniversary of Oscar Grant's death, and I think there's a lot of things that's keeping this in people's mind. And I really enjoyed this movie a lot too, despite some of the complaints I had. Like I said, go in, don't take this as gospel. Let this be something that lets you actually explore the case yourself.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to really look at it. Something that is introducing you to the case. Because honestly, I wasn't aware of it, and I was kind of shocked that I was like, wow, I guess I wasn't. I don't know if the media didn't cover it well enough. But
no, they were busy covering a missing blonde white girl.
That was going on.
Yeah. Wait, what? There's a missing blonde white girl?
No,
Osiris, come back!
Stop the review.
Go.
Let's go find her.
Don't get too worked up. She was with Billy the whole time.
Right. Know exactly where to find her. I wonder how many knocks on the door Billy gets a day when there's a white girl missing.
Oh, not this again.
Is she in here, Billy?
Wait, a black man has her? Hold on, I gotta go grab my pitchfork and torch first.
Somebody better call Mel Gibson. He'll dress up as Mad Max to go find her.
She probably got raped by a pack of niggas. By niggas, I mean Billy. But, what would you give it, man?
Well, I would definitely give it a full price.
Yeah.
Because, it does make you want to just learn more about this case. And, I mean, it is one of those movies that if you go see it, you're going to be walking out pissed the fuck off. I mean, you can't help but feel the injustice of just, the whole theater felt like, man, is there something we can do to make this not happen again?
Besides burn this theater down right now?
Besides burn the theater down and attack every police officer we see?
Yeah, man, everybody was crying. I mean, because the movie has a lot of quiet moments, and when it was quiet, you heard the people were laughing out of just nervousness because there was a moment where there was a lot of problems with the movie before, where the screen would just go black and they had to start the movie over again, and it did that near the end of the movie.
That's because the cops were fucking with it.
Yeah. Well, I give it a full price too. I mean, I said everything I need to say. Yeah, this is definitely a full price movie, and I would, if it weren't so tragic, man, I would love to see this again. But I'm just gonna be mad, and because I wrote on my comment paper, I just said "fuck the police" when I walked out.
Oh, I always write that.
Yeah. Coming straight out of Austin.
Yeah, when the Smurfs came out, he didn't even write "fuck the Smurfs." He wrote "fuck the police." And if you notice, co-host, there was a cop there before. When we were going in, we came out, that cop was gone.
I don't blame him. I was like, oh, great.
Even the security guards left.
I was like, you know what? I didn't come with my right gear. I got to get the fuck out of here.
That goddamn, that rent-a-cop was going on that Segway. Did you see that? That Segway was like something out of Fast and Furious. That motherfucker went so fast.
Get off the train now! Put that phone away.
Are you still on the train?
We're still at Fruitvale.
Why can't you tell me what is going on? What is the problem? What did you do? Oh my God.
Good, I'm good. We're gonna be good.